Happy holidays. I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. As the year comes to a close, it's time to take a look back at some of the stories covered on FYI throughout the year in the first installment of the Year in Review. In September of 2015, a local farmer, Jim Bristle, made a discovery that has the potential to change the history of Michigan as we know it. It was a fairly routine day on Bristle Farm, digging a trench to relieve drainage issues in the soil, when Jim Bristle stumbled on something that was anything but typical.
In the course of installing their pipe, realized that there were bones coming out of the sediment on both sides of the hole they were digging. It was clear immediately that these were parts of a mammoth, and from their description of the site, it was clear that there was more in the subsurface.
Upon further examination, the excavation team uncovered some unique finds.
In addition to the limbs and vertebrae, we recovered most of the animal's skull, a major portion of its jaw, and both tusks of the animal, which were still in place in their sockets in the skull.
The jawbone played a crucial role in aging this prehistoric giant.
The history of molar eruption and wear indicates an age sort of in the, say, mid-40s or something like that. And so that's our current estimate for this animal's age. We find layers of material. These layers develop day by day, week by week, year by year throughout the life of the animal. And when we cut a cross-section through tusk material, we can see a cycle of seasons and years.
This nearly 6-ton beast showed signs of crossbreeding between Columbian and woolly mammoths.
We have good evidence now that this was a hybrid mammoth, a hybrid between what had been two effectively separate species. And everybody, I think, knows that ordinarily different species do not mate with one another, but there's an historical component to this as well, that is the isolating mechanisms that prevent species from successfully interbreeding are traits that are acquired through a history of the evolutionary history of that lineage. And so if you put two lineages back into contact that have been without contact for a time, they may not have yet acquired all of those isolating mechanisms, and you can get successful interbreeding.
It seems like every day we are inundated with news about intolerance and violence. Even our own city has been targeted with messages of hate. The Arbor skate park hosted an event to combat the negativity. Skate Against Hate brought people of all backgrounds together to honor diversity in our town.
Skate Against Hate is a chance to try to come together in a sense of community celebration and inclusion, where the skating community, the non-skating community can be together and affirm a positive vision of inclusion and diversity.
We've got a great diverse group of men, women, boys, girls, friends and family, all coming out just to be supportive and stay positive.
A lot of people in our community are feeling under attack. People of color, immigrants, LGBTQ people. So that takes its toll. And it's important to have a space where people can come together, they can celebrate, they can have fun, break bread together, meet new people, and affirm that community vision of where we want to be, rather than just being locked in that anger and that distress over some of the ugliness we're seeing in our world.
Stay positive, keep skating.
Finding a way to be part of that vision of community and inclusion is something we should all be taking advantage of.
February is National Children's Dental Health Month, and to kickstart the occasion, the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum opened up a new exhibit dedicated to oral hygiene. This toothy exhibit is bringing the sparkle back to pearly whites.
Chew on This is an interactive oral health exhibit designed to teach kids about the importance of good oral health, the importance of making really healthy food and beverage choices, the anatomy of the mouth and the vocal cords, basically anything you want to know about your mouth and teeth.
After the floss cutting ceremony, kids took over the dentist chair, polishing this larger-than-life set of chompers.
The giant mouth is where kids can use dental tools to brush and floss and poke at cavities a little bit. We have a Smart Mart where it's just like a grocery store checkout counter where kids can go grocery shopping, and that when they are going through the scanner will tell them if they've made good food and beverage choices.
You have to floss its teeth and brush its teeth, and you have to do all these types of stuff to make the teeth clean. When you go to the dentist, you have to look for dark spots that don't look so good, and if they're weak and they don't feel so good to chew on, and that's the parts that you have to look at.
Not only is good oral health tied to school success and overall life success, having a healthy mouth also leads to having a healthy body.
One of our local hospitals is dedicated to community wellness as they host events making citizens' health a priority. St. Joseph Mercy combated the winter blues with their healthy kickoff, intended to keep people active during the seasonal chill.
Move Wellness is going to be leading some fitness classes, and then Shape Down is going to be doing some cooking demonstrations and teaching people how healthy eating benefits you. And then also we have Michigan Heart doing blood pressure screenings, some skin cancer screenings as well.
The healthy habits continued as people took in the sights during a brisk walk through the campus.
The Luminary Walk's a really unique activity that we've done. This is the second year now, but there's over 2 miles of candle-lit trails that people can go and explore. We have a huge campus with lots of different nature trails, and so we're inviting the community to kind of check those out and get active.
It's going to look so beautiful, and just seeing those lights and going for a walk, moving your body, none of us moving up. It's wonderful that we have a place like St. Joe where people can come and get world-class health care. But how nice is it that the hospital actually reaches out to the community and says, hey, let's do what we can together to get healthy.
Dogs were barking at the farm at St. Joe's as they walked and ran for a worthy cause. Bark for Life brought dogs of all breeds together to raise funds for the American Cancer Society.
Many patients with cancer, people with cancer, their families have dogs, and they're their therapy. They help us get through it, whether we're fighting cancer or we're worn out from caring for someone with cancer. Our dogs ask for nothing in return, but they give us so much.
Everyone involved, including the dogs, have been touched by cancer and are honored to support research.
The American Cancer Society is an amazing organization. They fund research. They provide resources to patients with cancer and their family. They help with rides to keep treatment. So their goal is to help people get well and stay well and be healthy.
After the 5K, the dogs got their game on.
We time them and how fast they can run our 25-yard stretch. Ann Arbor Dog Training Club has helped us support agility. We can do clay impressions of your dog's feet. We have bobbing for wieners. We have puzzles, so lots of fun things to do.
Pups all around are already prepping for next year's race on August 25th, 2018. Keeping with the pet theme, Huron Valley Ambulance, or HVA, is ready to pounce into action in the event of an emergency. But now they're taking it a step further by preparing pet owners in a crisis. HVA is offering free CPR courses to save the lives of animals.
Pets can have, these cardiac emergencies just like people do. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people prepared for emergencies that might happen with their pets.
The size of the animal makes all the difference when performing CPR.
For a different sized dog, you need to lay them differently, pull out their tongue before you do. I would have never known any of that before coming to this class.
We talk about how to do chest compressions, we talk about choking emergencies, and we even cover things like if your dog is injured, how you would muzzle them. Dogs tend to defend injury sites, so if you have a dog with a broken leg, for example, there's always a chance that the dog could bite if that hurts a lot, just trying to protect themselves.
I've always loved animals, and I have a house full of animals, so I just thought that if I ever needed it, that I could try to save one of my animals or anybody else's.
We just encourage people, if something's happening with your pet and you think they're not breathing, use the information that we're providing. Do chest compressions, do rescue breathing. All that people can do in emergencies is really help.
Colors and patterns galore were a sight to see at Mathi Botanical Gardens during the Orchid Festival. Visitors to the annual Orchid Festival had their sense of sight and smell satisfied, as this plant comes in unimaginable varieties.
Orchids are really interesting because of the diversity. There's over 30,000 species of orchids, over 100,000 hybrids. So you're going to get every color, every size, every pattern. They live in every habitat on the earth except for where glaciers are. So it's just a really interesting, diverse plant family. They like high light conditions, warm temperatures, high humidity. Usually they'll bloom once a year after they're triggered by a change in the light or the temperature, so by the seasonal changes. And the flowers, again, it'll depend on the variety, how long they'll last.
Most orchids may not be native to Michigan, but that does not mean they can't thrive in the warmth of your home.
They have to be inside over winter, and a lot of times enthusiast growers will grow them under lights instead of just windows. They're such an interesting and diverse species of plant that I think that everybody should at least give them a chance.
Everyone has a favorite season, but when it comes to Mother Earth, she may just have a preference for spring, as people all around the globe celebrate the sustenance she offers. Take a look at the city's annual celebration in her honor. Ann Arbor can call the Earth a friend with the many initiatives aimed towards making the planet strong for generations to come.
What could be bad? What could a wind turbine do?
We're here at the Ann Arbor Earth Day Festival. It's a festival to raise awareness and celebrate Earth Day, all about taking care of our environment and protecting our Earth. And I think we're about to see a parade.
We are fortunate enough to live in Washtenaw County that has an enormous amount of environmental nonprofit organizations that work tirelessly day in and day out to help educate, to better our world. And so to celebrate Earth Day is to celebrate all the people that are working very hard to keep Earth the way it is, the way we want it to be, to have clean water, have clean air, to educate the youth. So today is our party.
The party didn't disappoint with education, activities, and entertainment on the agenda.
We have over 30 environmental nonprofits that are here talking about all of the work they do.
What our organization, Citizens Climate Lobby, is trying to do to solve the problem. So we have a proposal that we advocate for putting a price on carbon. We did a couple little skits to illustrate how that would work and why that would help solve climate change.
Joe Riley, he's our friend. He was just in his beginning stages, and he recorded his first children's CD in the Leslie House across the way with kids from camp.
We only have one Earth, that we need to protect it so that our children and grandchildren have the same type of planet that we have, and that they can live the same kind of life that we have, where all of the resources are available and they have a livable climate. Just really important that we take care of the Earth because it's the only one that we have.
The cause is real, and many people need assistance from the food gatherers to provide for their families during mealtime. Sizzling, mouth-watering deliciousness was coming from the grill to the plates of hungry supporters during the Food Gatherers Summer Fundraiser.
It's called grilling, and it's a whole lot of fun. We're grilling a lot of food. We've got live music, a silent auction, raffle, kids activities. There's something for everyone here.
Wow, man, tons of people out here at the Farm Council grounds supporting Grilling, the signature fundraiser for Food Gatherers, our county's food pantry.
We have lots of great food on the menu today. Everything from burgers and hot dogs, different sausages. We've got tofu and vegetarian dogs, as well as lots of vegetables.
Well, there are so many things to choose from, so we've got all sorts of things you won't want for any more food, and it's really just a nice celebration.
This food bank and rescue organization needs all the help they can get as they provide thousands of meals a year to those in need throughout the county.
We distribute food to more than 150 not-for-profit agencies throughout Washtenaw County, and each of whom have either a food pantry or a hot meal program. In Washtenaw County, 1 in 7 people need food. that amounts to close to 50,000 people. And that's why we exist. We exist to alleviate hunger and eliminate its causes in our community.
Here's some more food for thought. The Ann Arbor Farmers Market is not only the place to buy fresh local veggies, there's also prepared foods to choose from. One Wednesday of the month, the market is taken over by eateries on 4 wheels. The food truck rally is the venue to sample all kinds of cuisines from roving restaurants.
We have anywhere 12 to 15 food trucks that come from all over Southeast Michigan and serve dinner.
So the best of the best in the area. Everybody's here. We do it once a month here in Ann Arbor at the Ann Arbor Farmers Market. We just show up, sell the food, sell the drinks, and then we take off.
We have Jamaican food here today. We have your traditional American. We have tacos, Mexican food, a lot of vegetarian and organic options.
The trucks follow the market's mission of local, sustainable food.
Our coffee is local, the cups are local, the tea is local, the cream is local. Everything that we use, you know, is supporting someone who's a small business owner, so you can tell we put a lot of love into it.
One of the wonderful things about food trucks is it allows you to experiment with different menus, different cuisines. You have a way of playing to who is eating your food. There's a lot more flexibility, a lot less overhead, and a lot of the food trucks here are really freaking amazing food.
Some years back, flash mobs were all the rage. It's been a while since the streets were taken over by an organized dance number. But one local group is calling it a comeback. Dancers surprised passerbys at the downtown post office as they showed off some of their best moves to tease the upcoming festival at St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church.
We decided to do a mob flash dance just to promote the festival. You know, it's being done all over the world to different music. We're Greeks, so we picked Zorba the Greek. Everybody is very familiar with that tune. And the dance is actually a more modern Greek dance. You know, we talk about dances being 1,500 years old versus the ones that are only a couple hundred years old. And the dance that we did is called the sirtaki, and that's a newer dance, about 200 years old. It started more Southern Greece, Middle Eastern.
To see all of this dance troupe's moves, as well as being immersed in culture, visit the Yasso Greek Festival, June 9th through 11th.
It's one of the dances that the dancers will be doing at the festival. Little different though, more involved, more choreography. You know that old Greek saying about laugh, drink, and be merry, because tomorrow you can do it all over again. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Sayo Church Road.
There are plenty of reasons to visit the downtown all year with unique dining and shopping experiences. But the month of March has even more to offer. During Youth Art Month, 33 Main Street area businesses collaborated with schools to make everything a little more artsy.
Youth Art Month was started well over 20 years ago, and it was really just an attempt to highlight some of the talented students that we have in Ann Arbor, and also to expose people to some of the great businesses we have downtown. 29 of the Ann Arbor public schools participating, ranging from elementary to middle school to high school.
This month entertains artists of many mediums and genres.
We are standing in front of Connor O'Neill's, and I'm happy to see that their focus is the U.S. Constitution. So it really runs the gamut, all different mediums. So there might be photography, watercolor, pen and ink. Some you might see some sculpture. So a real diverse group of artworks. With the Ann Arbor Public Schools, there's so many talented kids, so much great artwork, and we want to give them a place to showcase what they do. And in turn, you know, we hope that our community feels a connection.
All Hallows Eve isn't the only day to get your candy fix. There are places all over the area ready to give kids a real treat during the haunting season. Gallup Park was taken over by woodland wildlife as kids search for the mysteries surrounding the Huron River.
This one is called Trick or Treat Paddle. So basically kids and families come out, start paddling in the canoes and little boats as different volunteers come and give out candy.
Gallup is perfect for this event simply since it's so large, and this is one of the most used liveries in Southeast Michigan.
These life-size creatures had plenty of Halloween delights for the kids braving the elements for that candy fix.
We have 12 stations throughout the river and on the banks just around the livery. And this is just a way for the community to come out, and it's totally free to trick or treat. We have people dressed as creatures, so we have some kangaroos out there. We have some, I think we saw an owl and a crow. We have some witches. But as for actual creatures, there are still some critters out there that you might encounter.
If they're a swamp monster, they'll be in the water. If they're birds like me, I'll start flapping my wings. And it's just a cute little way to have kids start a Halloween spirit out.
Joy and unity are more important than ever in these times of turmoil. Check out this annual festival that is making people smile. Colorfest Michigan splashed Heritage Park in Canton with colors as far as the eye could see.
Today the world is divided for religion, for the colors. Somebody's white, somebody's black, somebody's brown. Whereas when you come here and get colored, you realize that you're still same human being. And that gives the sense of sameness. And that connects people to other peoples. There are strangers who come and throw colors at each other. So there is a power of unity they experience in this. And so once you experience that power of unity, you feel happy. Right now we are all divided, but when you get one, it's happiness.
This colorful kindness festival originated in India.
The mantra is what unites you, the mind and your body gets united. The rock bands, they are doing this for years, and so they promote the unity, happiness, blissfulness, and people experience it. And that's where we call it causeless happiness.
So Punga is a traditional folk dance from Punjab, and so it's kind of modernized now, and we put a little bit of different music in it and stuff, and it's lit.
People may have tossed colors around, but at one point it rained from the sky.
They should come to Colorfest because it's fun. You'll have a really good time, and you'll probably look forward to it next time.
Right now, even if you go at airport, people don't talk to each other. They're all in their technology world, their mobile world. But here you see, there are strangers. They're just throwing color at each other, smiling. It's bringing that old American culture back, just using colors. So colors is just a representation, but it really unites us.
Visit a2gov.org/watchctn for more on this and other programs. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.